Welcome to a very special episode of Pharmacy Tech Unfiltered. I'm Elena Rutka, former Pharmacy Tech, now certified quality auditor, working across biopharma, clinical research, and medical device industry. And today, I'm pulling back the curtain on my own career pivot. This episode is a personal one. I'm sharing how I went from being an overwhelmed, underpaid pharmacy technician to tripling my salary and building a brand new career in a completely different industry. All in under 2 years. If you are a pharmacy tech or career changer, feeling stuck, underpaid, or like your potential's been wasted, this episode is your turning point. Whether you are burned out, overlooked, or just outgrowing your current role, I'll show you exactly how I pivoted out of pharmacy. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to reframe your pharmacy experience for higher paying roles, how I use my tech background to land nearly 100 interviews, and how you can start doing the same today. I'll walk you through the real life steps I took, the hard lessons I learned, and the mindset shift that finally broke the cycle. And because June is my birthday month, I'm giving something back. Free resume review spots, full step-by-step videos, and workshops to help you make your own leap. So stay with me till the end because the details on how to sign up are coming. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. Let's dive in. Before I was a pharmacy tech, I was an English language teacher in Poland. Now you know where my accent is coming from, if you ever wondered. A safe job, a predictable life. But something in me kept whispering that I was meant for something else. Something that actually made a dent in people's lives. Healthcare felt that thing. Not nursing though. I'm not the needle and bedside care type. But pharmacy? That felt possible. So I did what any reasonable person does when they want to switch careers. I moved to Canada with a baby and my husband, and absolutely zero people I knew. I enrolled in the pharmacy technician program because the ad looked promising and the job boards were full of postings. I figured, how hard can it be? Huh? No one told me that as an international student, I'd pay triple the tuition. No one mentioned how lonely it gets when you are studying full time, your baby is teething all night, and you are trying to decode pharmacy law in a country where the healthcare system is completely foreign to you. I cried more during those 2 years than I ever had before. Not because I wasn't smart enough or strong enough, but because I was so tired and I couldn't afford to mess this up. I remember not having anyone to watch my son during a clinical rotation. So I strapped him into a stroller and walked to the hospital, hoping the snowstorm wouldn't delay the bus again. I remember feeding him with one hand and typing up lab reports with the other. That wasn't some cute career change. It was survival. It was me betting everything: time, money, energy, self worth on a profession I thought would finally give me the stability and purpose. And let me tell you, what I found on the other side was not what they sell you in the ad. So let me tell you about my first real pharmacy tech job after graduation. It was in this compounding facility that, looking back now, would be kind of like a 503B sterile compounding pharmacy here in the US. And listen, I was pumped. During my pharmacy tech program, I had signed up for extra sterile compounding training. I was obsessed with the precision, the protocols, the clean room vibe. I felt important. Like, wow, I'm really doing medicine. But here's the twist: I didn't get the job I wanted right away. I tanked my own interview. I actually talked myself out of a sterile compounding role because I let imposter syndrome get the best of me. I've already spilled some tea on that in episode 7, the one about feeling like a total fraud. I basically handed over the job to someone else. She got the clean room, the gown, the syringes. I got the chair at the front desk. Yep, I ended up working as a clerk. I was picking ingredients, labeling finished products, running around doing prep work while my classmate, who got the job, was in the clean room making the actual injectables. And let me tell you, every time I watched her suit up while I was left behind a window, it was like a punch in the gut. I'd done the extra training, I had the knowledge, but I didn't have the confidence, and that cost me. I stuck around. I kept showing up, doing the unglamorous stuff, learning everything I could. I stayed close to the process, even if I wasn't the one compounding. Eventually, after a lot of quiet persistence, proving myself, and yeah, some awkward asking, I got promoted into the clean room. I finally became a sterile compounding tech. Getting in wasn't easy. It wasn't like, oh, hey, you've been working hard. Here's your gown. It was slow. I had to advocate for myself more than I ever expected. And that promotion, it felt like reclaiming something that should have been mine from the beginning. But it also taught me something really real. Sometimes the biggest block isn't your manager, it's you. And until you work through that self doubt, you'll keep sidelining yourself, even when you're more than ready. Not long after that, life took another sharp turn. We moved to the US right before COVID hit. And that's when things got really intense. I landed a job at a hospital in Vermont. Big place, big energy, way more structure than what I was used to, but also way more chaos when the pandemic rolled in. Suddenly, the job wasn't about meds and labels. It was about PPE, protocols, changing every 5 minutes, and walking into COVID units, not knowing what you'd see or feel that day. I was delivering meds to isolation rooms, masked up, double gowned, trying not to breathe too deeply while still doing my job. I'd wipe down my card, then wipe it again. I memorized the pattern of which elevator to use for which floor because everything had to be separate. We were part of this strange choreography that no one had rehearsed for. It wasn't just physically draining, it was emotional whiplash. And in the middle of that storm, PTCB was calling for submissions. They wanted stories of resilience from techs working through the pandemic. So I wrote in. I don't even remember exactly what pushed me to do it, but I just sat down and poured it out. Maybe that's where my obsession with sharing stories started, who knows? But seriously, if you have your story ready, submit it. The link is in the episode description and all over my socials. Don't let your experience just sit in your head. It matters. Anyway, I ended up getting featured on the PTCB CPHD Strong campaign. They shared my story about walking into COVID units, delivering meds in full PPE, wiping everything down twice, sometimes feeling like a ghost in the building, but doing it anyway. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest. And for once, it felt like someone saw what we do. That little moment, being recognized by the actual board that certified me, it gave me this unexpected confidence boost. Like, hey, maybe I do have something to say. And that quiet spark, it didn't go out. And then came another plot twist. We moved again in the middle of a pandemic, this time with 2 kids and a suitcase full of deja vu. It was like life whispered, let's hit reset. Just see if you'll rise again. So we did it. Packed up everything we knew, the routines, the coffee mugs, the bedtime stories, and landed in a brand new state with no friends, no shortcuts, no grandparents down the street. No soft place to land. Just me, my husband, two little ones, and the kind of exhaustion that settles in your bones when starting over becomes your second language. I took a job as an inpatient hospital tech because stability mattered. New place, new rules, new protocols. Every name badge I didn't recognize reminded me, you are the new one. Again. And yet I showed up, figured it out, step by unglamorous step. After that came the sterile compounding job. That one, I held on to it. I wasn't ready to let go. Not because it was perfect, it wasn't, but because I loved the team. Because it was a bridge, a quiet crossing between burnout and something better. But the ceiling there was low. My sterile compounding certification, it added $0 to my paycheck. My manager called me an outperformer. The techs looked at me like I was crazy. You are doing the most, they'd say. And from what? And the answer? Validation, opportunity, a sign that the work I was doing mattered. But in that job, I was pouring into a system that didn't pour back. And here's the part that no one talks about. Sometimes it's not about whether you are good enough. Sometimes it's about whether the environment you are in is built to see you. And mine wasn't. I remember the moment it clicked. I was driving home after a shift, still thinking about a process deviation I'd caught. No one had noticed. No one had said a word. And that was the problem. That night, in the dark of my parked car, I asked myself the question that changed everything. What if I put this energy somewhere that actually rewards it? That was it. The shift, the pivot point. I started looking into biopharma, just enough to feel the door crack open. I applied for an entry level role, got in, and within a year, I moved into quality assurance. Same work ethic, same brain, same relentless care for detail. But now, when I outperform, I see it in my raise, in my bonus, in the way I'm treated like someone who matters. And let me tell you, the girl who once worked the front desk while someone else suited up in the clean room, she's not here to play small anymore. Now, when I outperform, it shows in the way people treat me, not like I'm extra, but like I'm essential. And every time I sit in a meeting where my ideas are heard, where my precision matters, where my hard work translates, I remember those sterile rooms, those hospital hallways, those outperformer with no raise moments. And I know I made the right call. If you are sitting in a role that doesn't see your value, you are not broken. You are not asking for too much. You might just be in the wrong environment. And if that's you, start looking sideways, not just up. Biopharma, auditing, quality, they are out there and they need people like us, people like you. Your experience isn't random, it's leverage. Use it. Remember, I didn't have a roadmap, just a whisper that said, you were made for more. If that whisper is in you too, don't ignore it. The path might be not easy, but it's yours. And if you need a sign, this episode is it. You've got this. This episode isn't just about career change, it's about identity. It's about starting over. It's about what happens when you bet on yourself and no one claps at first. If you've ever felt stuck in a job you outgrew, if you've ever whispered, there has to be more than this on your lunch break, if you've ever put in the work, the hours, the heart, and still felt invisible, this one's for you. Today, I'm sharing the full story, how I went from being an English teacher in Poland to a brand new immigrant mom in Canada, to a burned out pharmacy tech in the US, to finally a quality assurance professional in Biopharma, tripling my salary and rebuilding my sense of purpose along the way. This wasn't a straight line, it was survival and a lot of self doubt, but it led me exactly where I was meant to be. So, if any part of my story hit a nerve, if you are sitting there, nodding quietly, thinking, that's me, I'm stuck too, listen closely. June is my birthday month, but this year, I'm not asking for anything, I'm giving. I'm opening up free resume clinic spots this month, just for pharmacy techs and career changes who are done playing small. You bring the receipts, your experience, your hard work, your story, and I'll help you rewrite them. We'll dig into what you've done and turn it into something that makes hiring managers stop and take notice. And that's not all. You'll also get access to my step-by-step videos, the exact strategy I used to land nearly 100 interviews across biopharma, clinical research, and medical device roles in just a couple of years. Here's the truth. I'm not special. I just stopped waiting. And that's exactly what I want for you. Because waiting, it costs. It costs you peace of mind. It costs promotions. It costs time. Time with your kids, your dreams, your life. So if you feel like you've hit a wall, this is your sign. Climb it, break it, or build a ladder. I'll help. And listen, if any part of this story hit home, if you are stuck in a job you've outgrown, working harder than you are rewarded for, watching others move ahead while you wonder if you missed your shot, let this be your wake-up call. Because here is the real deal. You're not stuck. You're just waiting too long to bet on yourself. So here's what I'm doing for my birthday month. Opening a handful of free one-on-one resume review spots for pharmacy techs or career changes ready to pivot but needing that push. Sharing the exact step-by-step guides I used to land nearly 100 interviews and fast-track my career jump into biopharma, clinical research, and medical devices. Hosting free workshops right here on this channel, walking you through how to turn your pharmacy experience into a polished, competitive application that actually gets seen. How do you sign up? That's super simple. Just go to the link in the show notes. There you'll find a form to request your resume review, get access to my video guides. Also, subscribe to this channel for the workshops. But heads up, this is a limited time offer, just for June. After that, my calendar closes, and these free spots won't be back for a while. Waiting will cost you more than rejection ever will. Don't let your experience go to waste. Let's get you out of stuck. I'll see you inside. And if you know a tech who's burning out, feeling invisible, or sitting on a mountain of potential with no clue how to pivot, send them this episode. Tag them. Text it to them. Be the friend that pulls them out of the fog. We rise together. Let's go.